Hello YouTubers! Today we're going to be having a look at a free RTS called 0K, and it's based on, if any of you have played this game, Total Annihilation.
Oh, such a good game.
Yeah, it's pretty old if you've played it.
Yeah.
Actually, some games similar to Total Annihilation, made by like the same people and stuff. Supreme Commander if you've played that. And yeah, so I guess you can kind of see this as Supreme Commander. So yeah.
Times 2 speed just to get it going a little.
So here's me on this side of the battlefield, and I've started building a metal extractor. There are two resources in the game: metal and energy. Metal is gained by building extractors on the different spots that you can build them around the map. Energy is gained by building things like wind farms, like I am doing here.
And if you can just see that little cloud there, that's a vent, and if you get a geothermal generator, it produces a lot of energy, which is really efficient.
Yeah, so there are only a couple. They're much more efficient than normal ones. Yeah. See, I've started off with a light vehicle factory, and I'm sending out a couple darts for some early scouting. And there are 12 factories, no, 11 factories in total: cloakies, shields, light vehicles, hovercrafts, gunships, airplanes, spider factory, jump jets, heavy tanks, amphibious, and shipyards. There's also
I'm surprised you can remember that.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it right now. And there's
you
also
didn't say striders.
Okay, fine. There's a Strider hub. It's like for building super units and stuff. And on the other side of the battlefield, here's Angus. He's started light vehicle as well, and done basic wind farms, solar panels. Solar panels are like wind farms, except a lot stronger. Like, if I quickly skip over to this side of the map, these wind farms are getting owned fairly easily by these darts. And there's my commander in action.
Yes.
So yeah.
And this is where I destroy the radar.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Here
are these darts up here.
Yeah. Usually, if you have a lot of players, there's a lot more action. Like yesterday, I remember playing a game with Andrew, and there was so much metal everywhere that our units couldn't even get past because of they had to get over.
If I'll quickly demonstrate, what Angus means is, see this? See these? This is wreckage. Whenever something dies, it leaves behind a portion of its metal that can be reclaimed later on the battlefield. And you'll see that later. So even metal extractors have wreckage. And those block, if they're big enough, if they're a big enough unit that died, those actually block movement.
Yeah.
So here I am. I built up my wind farms a bit. See, here I am reclaiming the wreckages. And building some more scorches and everything.
Get back. Sorry. Yeah,
And yeah, I'm basically expanding, building more units and stuff.
And
Angus is building a Lotus Tower. The idea of defenses in 0K is that they can't move, so they have a massive disadvantage. But they're much cheaper for efficiency than other units. Like you can get. Yeah. You can get, for instance, a slasher. A slasher is 140, and it's basically just a missile truck. It shoots missiles. You'll see it in action later. Or you could get a defender, which is 80 metal, and that has much bigger range.
No,
it
does a lot more damage.
Really?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
It's just that the mobile, and since defenders can only stand still, that means they're better, because if slashers have to move, then they have to stand still to take their turrets out. So if you want to counter slashers, defenders are a good idea because they'll shoot before the slashers.
Yeah, and also, as you can see here, I've built this thing called a radar, and that basically lets me see units before they get to me. Except an interesting thing is, you see these smudges? Radars are actually blocked by mountains. So, for instance, this radar here can't see over that. Oh, it hears me doing some light raiding against space. And it's down. Scorchers are an interesting unit because they have a heat ray gun, which means that they do a lot more damage at closer range.
And yeah, here's the defenders in action. I mean the
as you can see here, this is pretty young battle. All the projectiles are created from the gun, they go to the vehicle. They don't, there's no there's nothing that you don't see. The projectiles are created and they fly across the map and they do damage. It's not like, say, StarCraft 2, where there's no instant fire weaponry. Well, there is, like laser towers, but there's nothing like StarCraft where a unit fires and then the yeah. Oh, and there's my Total Annihilation with jump jets taking out that culture. See the lasers? They come out of the gun.
The basic idea of it is if you don't capture enough land, then you're gonna die because of if you have more land, that means you can build more units.
Yeah.
More units means more attack power, which means you can own their base. Like, since Andrew's trapped me in this small part of the map, I don't have much metal or energy supplies, so I can't really build much. While since he has expanded across the map already, he can build a mass amount of units.
Yep. And there's the Slasher. The Slasher is a air truck. It's missiles home. Usually the difference between homing and non-homing missiles. Homing missiles have white trails. Rockets, which are non-homing, have black trails. There are lots of units that have rockets, except missiles usually don't do as much damage either. And both of these weapons, missiles and rockets, you can get for your comm.
One thing we haven't mentioned yet is there's also a survival mode called Chickens, and basically the aim of that is to survive rounds and rounds of AI alien kind of hybrid things, which are really weird, and just hold off until the queen comes.
Yep.
It's not as good as a normal 0K battle, but it's still okay if you want to get some practice and see how units work against other units.
And here's me building a geothermal plant, as I was explaining before how geos work. This gives me... Oh, just wait. Until sun. Speed up, speed up, speed up. Oh, close down. Right. Okay. So, this has... Ignore the bubble for now, I'll talk about that later. But this has... This produces 25 energy. That's about 20 metal per energy. Whereas look at the tidal generator. That's a lot more metal for less energy. So the geo is much more efficient. You can upgrade the geothermal into a moho geothermal, which produces 100 energy. It also has a massive explosion.
All those poor units.
On the front line, I've been building a ghost tower, which I, for some reason, didn't realize does not outrange slashers.
No, slashers outrange a lot of towers.
Yeah, slashers are quite good units. However, they're very weak and can't fire well.
0K also has this really cool feature, and the music changes depending on what kind of battle there is. Like, there'll be really peaceful music if you're just building stuff, and then it'll change to this really fast-paced music when fighting starts happening. Yeah,
all the music in the game is made by Denny Schmeiner, the German guy.
The German guy.
And over here, would be a good time to explain a certain feature of 0K. There's an overdrive feature. See the grid? These bubbles are called the grid. They're used to different energy structures. Will connect to the grid, and it has all the metal. And if you connect metal extractors to the grid, then they go faster. See, as you can see here, it says overdrive plus 168%, but you probably can't see that. But that basically means that it produces more metal. There are also some extremely heavy towers that needs to be connected to the grid to function. Like, you know, giant plasma cannons and stuff that can't fire without enough energy. And back to the front line. I've been building up my army, and so has Angus.
Yeah, but not very well since he had all the maps, so my supplies were very low.
Yeah. So, and yeah, here goes Angus. He's sending up a mason to take that stuff. Doesn't realize. Oh wait, no, it's actually building a defender. Oh, probably to probably to kill the extractor. Here I am going in with my army. Oh no. Another little skirmish. And here's my comm. See, comms can repair units. Same with every other construction unit. So here he goes repairing one of those tanks. Actually, this would be a good time to explain. In the game, there are multiple different widgets, often player-made. Well, yeah, basically all player-made, and they can do certain things. I've got a widget here enabled that makes it so that construction units will automatically repair units that need repairing. So I don't need to tell them to do that. There are other more ones. Some of them just make the game look interesting. Like this one makes
everything look cartoony.
Yeah, and some of them can make the game like look way different than it actually is. So like if I enable that, that, and that, suddenly the game is all like weird and neon and everything. But yeah, and that's just some of the widgets that are available. So back to the front line. Oh, actually, first, as you can see here, I've been building a line of solar collectors to connect these metal extractors to the grid. The more overdrive an extractor has, the less efficient it is. So it's much more efficient to connect lots of metal extractors to the grid instead of just having one or two. And see, here I am. I've got my MEL. I've built a MEL which is like a heavy artillery unit, which fires one single rocket over a great distance. And Angus is counter-attacking with his army, but he doesn't realize that I have a whole bunch of Ravagers here, going in. And now then, yeah. This would be a good time to slow down and show the projectile physics. See?
Yeah, so basically if you're after a really good free RTS, and I'd suggest 0K.
It is very good.
Yeah, it is. I think, I just checked my login. I think I've had over 600 battles.
Really?
Yeah, I played it a lot more than you after you showed me it.
Oh yeah.
And you guys kind of got bored of it for a while.
I guess.
Wait, here it is.
See, this is the leveler. The leveler shoots a single area of effect shot, which is very good against multiple units.
Okay, here it is. 558 played, 30 watched, 3 missions.
And here's... So here I am charging into angle space. And as you can probably hear, the music has changed to represent the fast-paced part. Oh, and these wreckage parts, some of these wreckage parts actually do damage to units if they hit them. So that's just another realistic aspect.
Yeah, like there's a few different units that shoot fire in the game, and when they explode, they they have a puddle of fire around the wreckage. So it's good for like a kamikaze effect against riots, but then you lose metal.
That's true. Except also those units like do fire damage, which is very effective. And then you can see these windmills. They're sitting here producing energy. They're pretty awesome, if I may say so myself. Yep. Except what they don't realize is that they're totally screwed. And as you can see that, the explosion radius of the factory actually killed off all the windmills around it. That's both a show of how weak windmills are, but also of how explosions work. And as you can see here, this solar collector, it's gone into shutdown mode, where it won't produce any metal, but it'll have much more armor. That's the advantage that solar panels have over other units. And see these wreckages of tanks? These tank wreckages actually will block units.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so will this comm wreckage and this flak wreckage. Except if you can see, there's 240 metal. So if I were to get in there and reclaim that, I would have more than enough metal to build like anything I want. Oh yeah, and here goes Angus. And the last shot. And if you saw that, there was a little shockwave in the explosion. That's how realistic this is. So yeah, that's a game of 0K, and I hope you enjoyed it. But we'll probably be doing more videos of this as we go on.
And a lot more videos that involve games that are awesome, but people don't really know about.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, that's it. Bye.
Bye.